Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Meghna Menon, and as you must have seen from the title, this is me sharing my first-hand experience dealing with COVID. So first of all, I want to let you all know that I'm putting this video out there for more knowledge and information about the whole COVID process and how it is and what happens and all that, because when I got to deal with it, I found not a lot of videos on YouTube which helped me or made me realize how to deal with it. They were sharing their experiences, but I didn't know what exactly to do. So that is one of the major reasons I'm putting this out there, and also because during the whole process it was a little difficult. So I just wanted to have, like, something to shift my mood or something that would keep me distracted. So that is one of the major reasons that I also was filming the whole thing. So this is kind of like a vlog where I'm taking you guys through my day and all of that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So obviously I have to start off with the backstory. So my mother, she works at Apollo, and she works with COVID patients. Like, they do their testing and all at health clinic, and that was the main source of her contracting or catching the disease, catching the virus. So she was affected, and she was confirmed positive with a test that we had taken. I don't really remember the dates. If I remember it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. So we went to the hospital, to the clinic, for a test, and my mom got her testing done. It was a throat swab test, and we got the results the next morning, and it confirmed as positive. So yeah, after that we had to isolate her. There wasn't any other protocol that was asked from us or from the doctors or from the clinic that we got it done. They asked us to just inform like the GHMC, I guess, and that's it. We were not, like, there was no so the one of the major things I've seen people come to houses and take them and go, or put like some sort of information like a paper in front of the house saying, oh, this is a positive house and this is an isolation. Nothing of that sort happened. We were just asked to isolate by ourselves, and that is what we did. So that is how she got the disease, and that is the first thing that we had to do. The second thing was, she didn't have any symptoms as such. She had a cold, a very minor cold, which also could be because she was getting wet in the rains in the past 2 days since it was raining here. But that is what we thought it was. But apart from that, there was no other symptoms, like how we've seen that you lose your taste, your smell, or you have like breathing problems and all that. Nothing of that sort happened. She just had a cold, which actually went away like the next day as well, of her being confirmed positive. But we still had to isolate her for 20 days. Basically, I had to isolate her for 14 days, but we did it for 20 days because that is what was asked of us. That's what happened. And majorly, since she had a cold, she was not going to her clinic, and she was isolating already before we took the test in my room. Since my mom is working in a medical field, we kind of had an idea that it could be possible that she could get COVID at some point. So anytime we saw like a symptom, or like since she got sick, we decided it's better to do something before confirming it, like a precautionary stage. So that's what we did, and we isolated her in my room. Yeah, apart from that, backstory is that there's me, my dad, and my grandmother that stay in my house. So since we have two elderlies, or let's say above 60, and we don't have any minors like below the age of 10, that is what is asked majorly from the doctors. If you have anyone above 60 and below 10, we didn't have anyone below 10, but we did have people above 60. So we had to make sure that they did not get it, or my mom did not pass on the virus to them. So for that, we were isolating her already. And yeah, since it was confirmed, it was better we moved her to another room, since she shouldn't be sharing her washroom and her space. So we had to do that as well. So the next clip of me is just doing that. Disinfect the washroom, which is another major thing you have to do. So I'm gonna put 2 caps of this, mix it with water, and then like spray it all around. So yeah, like you saw, the first thing that you should be doing is you should isolate them for sure. They have tested negative and you still see that these are symptoms of COVID, it is better to isolate that person for the next 14 days, because to be honest, we really don't know how this virus works and functions, because there are people that I've seen were tested negative, but then later on they had like major symptoms, and in the ending stages they were tested positive, and because of the gap that they took, it affected them. So it's always good to isolate and take precautionary steps if you see symptoms, and even if it comes out as negative. uh, yeah, and one of the precautionary steps is obviously to isolate and separate their utensils, their clothes, their bathroom area, bathroom space, uh, their glasses and everything, like that they drink or they could have droppings of, like if they cough or they drink or something. It's better to keep it separately, and always good that that person themselves clean it, so you don't have to do it yourself. You shouldn't be doing it yourself. Their bed sheets, their clothes, everything, let them wash it themselves. And it's always good to like sanitize the entire area, the entire house, wash your entire house with Dettol, Savlon, whatever disinfectant. Keep spraying the disinfectant spray around common surface areas like switches and doorknobs and handles and all, and remotes and all that, because those are the easiest ways to transfer the virus. So keep doing that. And after that, then I would like to talk to you all about food. So it is recommended that you feed them good nutritious food, paneer, meat, leafy vegetables, anything that you generally should be eating anyways. Yeah, but good food, no fast food, no extra processed food, no junk food, no cold food, like no cold items like cold drinks and ice creams and all that. Stay away from that. Always give them hot water, and always give them boiled water, boiled anything basically, and not very spicy also is recommended. Take the tablets. Always make sure to ask your doctor what are the tablets that the person is supposed to be taking. uh, yeah, and make sure that the person who is attending to the patient that is positive is of a good age and good health, so that they don't get the virus and then they are not sick as well, because it is possible that you will get the virus if you are in contact with them, right? So make sure that the person, whoever is like responsible for this person, is not weak in the immune system, and is preferably in a good state of age, like in their 20s, and this person also is taking like the vitamins like the B3 and all that sort of medication, so just to be safe. Yeah, always wear your mask whenever you're going to meet that person or contact the patient that is positive, while giving food or for whatever reason it is. Make sure you're wearing a mask, and make sure that the patient also is wearing their mask. Make sure that the area is clean around them. Obviously, you do not want the patient to be isolating in a dirty area. And make sure that you inform people that this person is positive XYZ, so that it does not look like you are trying to hide something from someone, because you don't have to. So yeah, that is another thing that I would like to say are the first things you should keep in mind. A few of the challenges that we faced were people's reactions. I'd like to say, like I don't know why the first thing when people hear of COVID is fear. I mean, you should be aware and you should be prepared for it, but not scared of it, because then you will not function how you are supposed to be functioning. So people were scared, and then they started telling all these XYZ things, and which was making the patient feel very negative, and that is not what you should be making them feel like. You need to be cautious, you need to not be in denial. Those are two different things, and being scared and being like freaked out, don't panic. That's what I'm trying to say. Another thing was, I was glad that the place I'm living in, like the area I'm living in, was not didn't react badly. I've seen a lot of places reacting badly and like being very rude to people who, especially doctors and all, not letting them live in their rent houses and all, which is so absurd. Like it makes no sense to me. But thankfully, my colony was very nice about it. They're very helpful and very kind, and I'm very grateful for that. Though like so the cleaners and helpers that come, they weren't coming to our floor and weren't cleaning like the entire floor and weren't taking away our garbage, which is weird, but then it's okay. Like I try to think of it from their perspective, and they are scared as well, so it's fine. I mean, we could just deal with it. It's after all for 20 days the max, so I was okay with it. Though I mean, though the area was like completely dirty and we didn't know where to throw our garbage and all that stuff, but it was fine. Like I get the fear, I get it, I get them being scared. Another thing we did was we got a thermometer and we got the oximeter. So the thermometer is to check your temperature so that you are not having a high fever, and because if you are, then you need to be visiting the doctor. You need to go to the doctor, and also to check your oxygen levels, because that is one of the major things, because you don't realize when your oxygen levels are low, because if it is below a certain point, you should visit the doctor, you should be in the hospital, and you should be isolating in the hospital. If everything is fine, then you should be isolating at home. So that is one of the things we were checking every day, every morning and night. That is the thermometer, pay temperature, and oximeter, the oxygen levels in the oximeter. So yeah, those are two things you can probably buy. Let's say hi to my mom. You feeling okay?
Yeah.
So a major thing I would tell you guys not to do is, if you think someone could be positive or is showing symptoms, or let's just say is sick, isolate them in a room which you could use even if the test comes out positive. So what we did was we isolated her in my room, and now we are having to shift her to another room because there is no washroom in my room, and the COVID positive patient needs to use a separate washroom. So it's become a little messy because we have to like now sanitize 2 rooms for sure, and you know the moving is a little stressful. So that is the first thing you should do, that is isolate them in a proper room which you could use for the next 70-20 days, which also has a master washroom. And another thing I tell you all to do for sure is get groceries. I know it's very obvious, but it gets very difficult, and you almost forget it once like all this starts happening and everything goes haywire. You actually forget about that, which is kind of necessary, because when you realize you need to cook or get some good food or give it to someone and all that, you realize you are out of groceries. So one of the things I have learned is you can order them online, so and not just like big basket, and have apps like Sabji Wala, which my Bhabhi had told me about. So you can order vegetables, fruits, and all that stuff from there, which is great. It's a really good initiative, and it really did help me. And also Swiggy also like delivers now. You can order from Ratnadeep and all these major supermarkets as well. Further, let's go check on my mom. How are you feeling?
Much better.
Much better. What were your symptoms when you figured you had COVID?
I only had cold. That's it.
Did you have fever, cough?
No, nothing.
Is cold called as asymptomatic or symptomatic?
Cold is not a symptom actually. They say cough is symptom, but not cold.
How did they take your test?
Throat swab. Throat swab.
Throat swab. Okay. What were the reaction of people?
Reactions were very weird reactions I had. Like people thought I'm going to die also, I think.
Yeah. Did you think you were going to die?
No, I'm not going to die.
Did you think that?
No, I'll not. I have so many other things to go on. It's just a passing phase. It will go off in one week. I'm just following the precautions because others also should be safe in the house. I have an old mother. I have a beautiful daughter. I have my husband. So for them, I'm taking care of myself.
Do you want to say something to someone who probably is super scared of corona?
Yeah, I do. If they are feeling any uncomfortable or anything, let them get tested, and they can follow the precautions from the beginning, so that it will not go to the next level. Eat well, sleep well, enjoy, stay safe, wear masks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. You heard it. You're doing well, right?
Yeah.
Great. Hi guys, so I finally sat down and I feel like I've sat down out of so long, which is so strange. So basically, I have my chai glass, and if I have this, something's going to be spilled. So, yeah, one of the main things I wanted to discuss here is I have realized that more than dealing with corona or like with a patient with corona, it's difficult to deal with people, the society, and their reaction stigma around corona, which is very disheartening, to be honest. I mean, the whole reaction of everyone is like, oh my god, it's okay, चला जाएगा, किसी को बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, it's fine, people don't tell, it's not like a big thing. If you don't tell anyone, actually you're not positive, but by mistake ho gaya because of someone else or some wrong test. And I'm like, to be honest, I at some point expected her to catch it, expected all this to happen. So yeah, that was my mini rant about yeah, if someone is tested positive, try being a little nice. Stop alienating them. I mean, they have to get isolated, does not mean they have to emotionally get isolated as well. So yeah, that's all I had to say. So I think you guys are gonna get a recipe now. I'm going to make a khada or kashayam, as they say it, and yeah, it's kind of become very mandatory for all of us to drink that. So we use this kettle that we have. You can also use a stove and a boiler. Just add water for how many ever people you want to make this for. Let it steam for a while, let it boil for a while, and then you have to add in your spices. I'm just peeling the ginger so it's not dirty and cut them into pieces. Then I have the sliced ginger pieces, cassia bark, cinnamon, cardamom, clove. I'm just going to add all of this in this crushing bowl and smash all of them before I add them to the boiling pot. So just crush them like Indian society crushes a girl's dreams and hopes. Now go ahead and add these crushed spices into the pot. Now I'm going to also add black pepper. You can add pepper spice as well. I'm just going to add this powder, and then I'm going to add haldi, which is also called turmeric. I'm going to add like 3 spoons of it and let it boil again. And once it's boiled, we have our decoction ready. So after 14 days, no, after 16 days, we got tested, like the entire family got tested, and everyone was tested negative, including my dad, my grandmom, me. But my mom still tested positive, and that was a little alarming to us because she was completely fine. Like I told you, by the fourth day, she was completely fine. She didn't even have that cold, which I was thinking is because of the rain. She didn't even have that, but she still tested positive, so that was a little freaky. But then the doctor informed us it could be dead virus which is still in her body, and it will take another week for them to like exit. So there are like levels and sort of things, so you need to be above 40. I don't know what it is called, I'll just google it and put the term here somewhere, but you need to be above 40 in units for that, for you to test negative, and she was at the 38. That is why it came out as positive. So another week and then she will be tested again, and it'll be negative. So she was tested again today and she came out negative, which is what was expected. So that's a great thing. So everyone's tested negative now, but she's still at home. She's not isolating, not alone, thankfully, but she's still at home for another week before she can continue her work. So that was a great thing, and that was another information that I did not know about, and that was a little alarming. So yeah, there is something called as an incubation period, so it could be for testing positive and negative as well. So you could test negative, but you could have the virus and it could be incubating in your body, and another week later you could test positive. So you should be wary of that. as well as if you are positive and you're still testing positive the second time after your isolation period, it could be because of the same reason. So test it, keep doing the test. And about the test, I would like to say that there is, I don't know why everyone's so scared of getting a test done or being careful about COVID. Like, it's fine. I don't think we should be scared of getting a test done, or especially for the reasons of what will society say, or what if I'm, oh my god, what if I'm positive? They're gonna react badly. People are gonna know. People are gonna judge me. I don't think it's really that important that you put your life on stake because of society's judgment. Like, it makes no sense. Just go and get the test done. uh, at a point, even my mom was scared of that. She was like, oh my god, if I'm positive, there'll be so much hangama and all that. I was like, it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. So if you know someone that should be getting a test done, or should be telling people that they are positive but they're not, or I mean by telling people that they have contacted, that they have tested positive, but they're not telling because of fear of being judged or all that image sort of things, they're completely wrong. Explain to them why this is bullshit and why they should just get it tested, or contact people that they have met if they have tested positive. Yeah, I don't think we should be giving this much importance to society where we keep our life on hold. Just take the test. It's completely fine. It's better for everyone, in fact, if you get the test done. So yeah, like I said, my mom has no fever. She had nothing of that sort. She was asymptomatic. She still tested positive. So we need to be really careful about our surroundings. We need to be really careful for ourselves, and take extreme precautions, especially now that the lockdown is lifted and if people are going out and all that. We need to make sure that we take all the precautions: washing hands, washing areas, wearing our masks, not touching random things. We need to make sure we do all of this so that we are not at the risk. And even if you know someone that is tested positive, I don't think you should isolate them mentally. Like I mentioned in my video, we should be supportive of them, make sure that they know we are still here, we are still rooting for them, hoping for them to get well, and waiting for them to come out of the isolation. Let's not make it a solo man's war, because that's not going to help anyone. That's one of the major things that I learned from this, because being alone for 20 days or 14 days is hard. So let's make it a little easier for someone that is isolating. So it's been 25 days since my mom is isolating, and she has been tested negative 3 days back. So today we are sanitizing our entire house with this sanitizing machine. Like you can see, it is basically spraying out sanitizer. So the entire house has been sanitized, and we've been sitting out since 20 minutes, and now we're finally entering in, and we have to mop the entire house now. Those were all my experiences I had, but apart from this, I wanted to share a few more experiences that my friends have had, which I felt I should be sharing since I'm making a video on it. So my friend's father tested positive since he goes to work, and he had some serious issues. So I think he had asthma. So his how do I tell it, his experience with COVID was much more scarier than what we had experienced. So he had to be hospitalized because he had breathing problems, and then he got a severe fever, and it was very high, so he had to be hospitalized, and they were in ventilation for 3 days straight. So that was a different case. And another of my friend, his father had passed away because of the same thing, like two different people. One, and the second person whose father passed away, his dad didn't really have a lot of issues, but it just happened so quickly because they couldn't test the virus quicker. And so what I'm trying to say is, everyone has a different experience with COVID. It's not like it's going to be just asymptomatic, or it's just going to be scary, or you're going to be on the ventilator, or you're directly going to end up in a hospital, in a government hospital. No, it's everyone has different experiences. So it's always better to be safe than sorry, and it's always better to be aware than in fear. That is what I believe. Thankfully I had a decent experience where it was not very scary, and things didn't go really wrong, but it has gone wrong for people. So I'm just telling y'all to be more aware of the situations around us, and especially that hospitals aren't they are trying to help us, but not everything is in their hands. For example, you cannot get a doctor to come to your house and test you as and when you want. In fact, I don't think it's possible, 90% possible to get a test done at home. It is possible, but it's not very frequent, and doctors are very very few in numbers, so they will not be available to each patient. Also, hospitals are costing a bomb. Like, it is so expensive, and it is quite scary, especially if you're like a middle class person. It is quite scary. Like, this whole situation is scary. So I'm just trying to tell you all to be really aware and be careful and take all precautions so that you can avoid it. But if you do get it, make sure you do the right steps and follow the right steps and follow the right precautions, so you don't pass it on to someone else, or you don't realize that you have COVID, and you're gone to a later stage where it's getting more difficult for you to deal with it. So yeah, that's all I had. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye bye.